Hi fellow traders. In this video, I want to share with you my trades on Netflix and GoPro this morning. I really felt out of sync, um, out of sorts, probably because it was a Monday. I was dragging, really wasn't up and ready to go like I normally am. But sitting back here now, I can see how bad I botched these trades. I left a lot of profit on the table, out of the gates this morning. And it's not like me to miss these things, but I kind of know why, because I was looking at and concentrating on two tickers at the same time, and they were both kind of setting up at the same time, and I really had a hard time trying to decide which one I wanted to trade. So I ended up trying to work both of them and kind of got messed up. Still, did decent, had a decent day, but um really could have gone the other way pretty quickly, and I could have been, down to start the week. But to get started, I'll start with GoPro first, because this one was on my watch throughout the weekend. Read several negative articles on it, on GoPro, and what they were trying to do, and so I figured, I would get a sell-off, and it may be worth, 1 or 2 points, the first 45 minutes to an hour of the day. So that's what I was looking for. But it opened up here, and I got the quick wash I was looking for. But I never trade the first 5 minutes, so I waited for this candle to print, and it did just what I wanted it to do. It closed below this support, and I figured it was going to turn into resistance. So when this candle opened, below support, I figured it was ready to change. This was going to act as resistance, but it just ran up. And luckily I was watching it before I pulled the trigger, because I probably would have got it in here and then let it stop me out. But I just waited. Said I'll just wait for the third candle and see what happens. But this one came up, it tapped a 9, and then it's open, right on the 9, and started to go down. But I saw the 20 trending down, the 9 trending down. The VWAP looked like it was about to trend down. So when I look at these things, I'm thinking it's going to be in the downtrend. So what I really should have done was taken it short, using this as a guide. And this is the upper deviation band on the VWAP. And I use both the upper and lower deviation bands as well as the VWAP when I'm planning a lot of my trades. Now this one, the upper deviation band, I use as resistance, because a lot of times when I'm playing a ticker off the VWAP, this is going to be my first profit target, unless there's areas of support or an area of resistance in between. This is going to be my profit target. And if I'm shorting something that's moved up that I think is going to come back or reverse, I'm going to use this as my level to short off of. And I should have done it here. If I'd have been on top of my game, I would have taken it short here, because it was below the 9, and just rode it down. Taking half here and let it come down, and then, probably took the rest off, once this kind of, tested below the lower deviation band, which I see as support. And, what happened was I got in here because I was looking at this level of support. I was so tunnel visioned on it, and tunnel visioned on this one. That's all I could see. So I took it, when it lost support here. But I shouldn't have scaled out here. What I should have done is just, let it ride. It didn't close above the 9, which is my stop. Once a trade proves to be a winner, my stop's going to be a close above the 9. Really never tested it. And I know why I got spooked out, because I'm looking at this Netflix at the same time. So I ended up taking it off here. I lost 30 cents to this side, 30 cents to this side. This could have been a good 1 point trade, which is what I was looking for, at least a 1 point trade out of this first thing in the morning. 500 shares on a 1 point trade is $500. And, you can't beat that. But I gave up 2/3 of it. But this I take, any profit I take, I'm happy with it. But, I'm pretty disappointed in how I traded it, because I feel I'm a little bit better than that. So now we're going to look at Netflix. This is the one that I was in and out of all day. I really overtraded it. I'm looking at this pre-market. I was looking for this level to fail as support, and it fade back down to 96 by the end of the day. So my theory was I was just going to put 100 shares on it short, and I was going to put a stop somewhere up here on right here, yesterday's close, and just let it work. Just let it work as a swing trade, and just take it off at the end of the day. Or if it hit 96 early, I would take it off. But it opened. I see this candle here, so I'm getting ready to, take it short, just like this one. And both of them popped up on me at the same time. So I let it go up, and instead of using this upper deviation band like I'd like to use, I didn't. I'm still looking at support on both of these, saying I'm not going to short it till it breaks support. Well, here, you can see I lost from 103 down to 101 and a half, 101.50. $1.50 move if it's just on 100 shares, that's $150. But I was, trading 200 and 300 shares on this. Well, 200 first because I was in GPRO 500 shares, and I was kind of saving that for this, and I could only get 200 shares. And here I wasn't going to go any more over on my buying power. So I went ahead and took it under the support. Under the support here when it lost it. And I'm going to scale out. So I took half here. Well, as soon as I took this half, it started to reverse, because the first half of the move I lost. So I'm trading on the second half of the move. And if you trade on the second half of the move, you don't scale out. And this is why, because the minute you sell half, it's going to turn around and you're going to get stopped out, on the way back up. So I didn't let it get back to break even on this last half that I had in. So I went ahead and took it off right here. Still got a pretty decent average, for a little profit. Now the next trade I took, it came back and it tested this level again. And when it failed to break this resistance, I went ahead and took it short here. Stop would have been a close above this resistance until, it became a winner. Really never became the winner I wanted it to. When it opened down here, I thought it was going to keep washing. It didn't. It fought back, kind of consolidated a little bit, came down, still couldn't break this, and this 150 still couldn't break that level. So then it came back And once it got back up here, I went ahead and covered it. And I, covered all. Based on what happened here, I didn't try to scale out. I just covered my whole position. So I pretty much thought I was done with this trade. You can see it came up to test this red to green line. This is previous day's close. And it, came back, and the VWAP and everything, the 20 and the 9 kind of held the support. And then it faded back. So this is kind of when I came back from lunch. And I wasn't really looking at anything else. But I saw this pop up. It failed to, hold support. And it faded back down. And it came down to, this 101 level. And, I'm just still watching it because I want to see what it's going to do. I was not going to short it. At this point, I wasn't going to short it until it faded below 101 or 150. That was my plan here. I would not touch it unless it broke that. So it just kind of teetered around. And when it came up again, it made, a lower high relative to these candles. And then it faded back down, and then it came down below the 9. So this is telling me that it's weak, but it was consolidating here again, right here at 101. So I felt this was another area of, intraday support that was critical. So I said, I'm not going to take it short. If it breaks this, I'll go ahead and take it short. And, my stop would be, close above the 9. So I went ahead and took it short and, got a nice move out of it. Really no reason to cover right here, but I covered it all up. I exited my whole position. Again, based on what happened, in the morning, I went ahead and exited all of it. But I was still watching it, and it couldn't reclaim the 9. It just stayed below it. And then as the 9 was still moving down, the 20 was still moving down. The VWAP looked like it was going to cross this intraday support. So I said, there was a good indication that this short was going to still continue to work. And I'm still thinking 96. I'm still thinking that this thing is going to get 96 now. And so I went ahead and took it short, risking on a close above the 9 again. Nice tight risk, incredible reward. So I got short here, and it just kind of teetered around again. But this time I said, unless it pushes the 9, I'm not touching it. So it came down, and it got here, and this was my point to take half off. Because once I get a 2-to-1 profit ratio, based on what my stop would be, I'll go ahead and take half, which I did. And I had to leave. So I wanted to manage the rest of my trade. I had to kind of do it on my phone. So what I did was, once I took it here, I think this is when I left. This is where the 9 was. So I went ahead and set a hard stop at right here at 98.50 is where I put the hard stop. And then I had to take off. And I had intermittent internet problems. Couldn't see the chart because the internet wouldn't come through. I had bad signals where I was. And the only thing that kept me calm was I knew I had, a stop. 98.50, it was a market stop, so I know it would have filled regardless. It wouldn't blow past it, and I'm still stuck holding it. So I felt pretty good about it. And, I got stopped off here out here at 98.50, but I had a real good average. I think it ended up being a 35 or a 36 average, which was another real good trade from here. So I feel I ended the day pretty strong. Um, kind of made up for some of the mistakes that I made this morning, but really could have easily been a $2,000 day. And when you think about it, that sucks, but you live and you learn. But that's all I wanted to share. Just wanted to talk through my trades and kind of vent some of the frustration I had. But thanks for listening, and until next time, have fun trading and stay green.